You know the saying, nothing changes if nothing changes? Well, that's why the Digital Growth Accelerator is designed to help you not only see things differently, but also think differently, feel differently, and most importantly, act differently. But here's the thing. Some of you listening will still hesitate. Maybe you're thinking, I don't have the time. The budget just isn't there. Maybe you're scared of making a change. But today we're going to tackle those concerns head on and show you why there's really no reason not to take action.
You're listening to the Banking on Digital Growth podcast.
Welcome back to the Banking on Digital Growth podcast. I'm Audrey Kanata, operations lead here at the Digital Growth Institute. And joining me for today's very important conversation is founder and CEO, James Robert Lay.
Hey, Audrey.
Hello, James Robert.
Looking forward to talking this up today because it's something that you and I have been working on behind the scenes. We launched this a couple of weeks ago, and I have literally been having conversations almost every single day with financial brand leaders. Yeah, about the accelerator.
I mean, this really has been such a massive focus for us the last few weeks. But before we get into all of that, what's been going well for you?
What has been going well? Shout out to my friends up at NEFMA, the New England Financial Marketing Association. I got to hang out with them as of recording last week. I went up to the Northeast and did a book signing and a closing keynote session to close out NEFMA, New England Financial Marketing Association. It was a great event, great experience.
Awesome. And I can't wait to see pictures. I've yet to see pictures.
Justin Roberts, and I know he listens to this. So he texted me this morning. He said, hey, when am I going to get my selfie? When are you going to post that selfie that we took on LinkedIn? Mm-hmm. So Justin Roberts, this one's for you. You're not only getting a selfie, you're getting a shout out on the podcast today as well. And I told him it's in the queue. We got a lot of great pictures, met a lot of good people, a lot of people who listen to the podcast, and just to be able to get that in-person time. I've got a trip out to Seattle this week for a private event. And then the next week after that, I'll be in San Antonio, Texas, a little bit closer to home, and am doing another event for GLIA's conference out there.
Yeah, you are on the road so much the rest of this month. Exciting?
Exciting, yes, but also having to be very mindful of time and of energy. Things travel-wise begin to slow down a little bit in November, but I got a couple more trips in November to wrap up the year before I think being completely off the road and at home with the family in December.
It's so funny and crazy to see just like the opposite effect your travel schedule has. Because when you're gone, you're having to really manage your energy. Sometimes you come back exhausted. But when you're traveling, I mean, it's like an energy reset for me. I've got so much, deep work day. So you come back and I'm like, let's go.
It's so funny.
Ready to rock and roll.
It's so funny you say that. And I get a lot of energy. I get a lot of energy out on the road. It's the travel though. That's right. And Delina, my wife, she did a couple of trips with me last month in October. And one of the things that she said, and some of them were very quick turnarounds. Like we flew out on a Saturday out to Arizona for an event, came back on a Sunday. And then then we left on that following Wednesday for another event, came back on a Friday. Her exact words were, I don't know how you do this. I was like, I've been doing this for over 20 years. And she would always say like, oh, you get to go away. You get to have fun. You get to get away from the kids. And it's not fun and play. Like it's literally, I fly in, I hit the airport. I go out to the hotel where the event is. Yeah. I speak, meet people, sign some books, get to have some really great conversations, back to the airport, back home, because I try to get in and out as quick as possible because the 4 kids now are getting getting older.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of adrenaline. And I think you do so well. I mean, that's your quick start coming through. I mean,
Yes.
you are made for these moments of just I have traveled with you. I mean, it's been a very long
Has been a
time.
while.
I do remember there's one in particular memory I have just traveling. I think it was Chicago. And obviously I'm the opposite and just trying to keep up with you. It was just, it had my anxiety just couldn't handle the fast pace, moving, barely making it on time places one of the airports, man, we had to book it across like a connecting flight. And I was like, how does he do this all the time?
It's I do. It is fun. I appreciate being with people,
Yeah.
and helping people. And that's the whole reason that we're doing the accelerator, because to be quite honest, it's like personally, I needed a new challenge for 2025 as
Yep.
well. But then a lot of this thinking came from having conversations, making connections with clients, with prospects, listening to where they're at and saying, "Hey, we're going to do something a little bit different for 2025." We've actually piloted a very similar program. It was about a year ago, but we're going all in on this accelerator for next year.
Yeah, so let's get into the Digital Growth Accelerator. What is this? What is this program? I mean, you tease that it's something that, you know, looking to help, looking to shake things up, provide value based on a lot of the feedback that you're receiving. Break down the Digital Growth Accelerator for our listeners.
So it's research based, meaning that in Q3 of 2024, we went in, we assessed the environment, and what we found were a couple of key data points. About 86% of financial brands have never mapped out their customer journeys. About that same amount as well have never secret shopped their websites. That number has not changed since 2020.
Yeah. And that's the problem. That's the real issue here.
And so once again, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And we wrote about this in Banking on Digital Growth. Like, this is the playbook. This is the guide. And someone actually at NEFMA told me that Banking on Digital Growth, the book, everything that they read changed their life. I was like, what do you mean it changed your life? I was like, that's incredible, but what does that mean? It was Lindsay Ogan. She said, she's over at Stride Bank. She said, I read that book and it helped me elevate my perspective. It helped me elevate my team. And it it just helped me see things differently.
And I imagine her confidence level, I mean, because it is such a playbook. I mean, and learning everything from that book. I mean, it was the first thing I did before I came back for tour number 2 is I sat there and read that book I mean, it got me so caught up to speed. Just understanding the state of digital marketing,
But
sales, banking.
you know what she told me though it really did for her? It helped her get a new position. It literally elevated her position in the organization. And and
That's
and,
huge.
and it all started because she started seeing things differently. She was able to help others in her organization see things differently. She was able to change the perception of marketing within her organization. And when she told me that, I said, we're on the right path with the accelerator. Because once again, 86% of financial brands have never secret shopped their website. They've never mapped out their customer journeys. And as a result, we know, and you see it. They have blind spots throughout their customer journey, whether it's the awareness, consideration, purchase, adoption, or advocacy stage, that are costing them loans and deposits. And so the Digital Growth Accelerator the word accelerate, it means to move, it means to increase speed, it means to be quick. But to move, to increase speed, to be quick, you also have to reduce friction. You have to make it easy.
Yeah.
So the accelerator is to do just that. It's to make this, it's the quick, it's the easy way to uncover number one, but more importantly, number two, eliminate your biggest customer journey blind spots at your bank or credit union.
Yeah, I think that, we've done everything in this digital growth accelerator. There are things they're offerings and part of our program that we've been doing. But I think the way that this is packaged up is what makes it so, it's nothing new. Like there's nothing new about the digital growth accelerator other than the way it is packaged up together. And I think because you've expressed this, you are so confident in this and this methodology and these different studies and assessments that, I mean, you're willing to, how much, what is the combined value of this accelerator?
Well, it's over $40,000 worth of combined value. And you're like,
At
well,
under,
yeah, well, how did you get to that $40,000? Well, because this is what we would typically charge when working one-on-one with an organization. I mean, our engagements with an organization typically start one-on-one, 40, 50, $60,000 for a year. But once again, I was listening. People were telling me, we want to do this, we want to work with you. We just don't have that kind of budget right now. And I said, how can we make this more approachable to help even more in 2025? And
right.
so it's a blend of one-on-one, but also bringing together a cohort of like minds, packaging up, once again, nothing new. It's what we've been doing for over the last decade. Because I actually was thinking about this the other day. Website secret shopping studies. We've been doing website secret shopping studies now for over a
Yeah.
decade.
Yeah.
And yeah, we package everything up, over $40,000 worth of combined value for less than 10K.
I
The
mean, it's a deal that's hard. It is hard to say no to. And we'll get into that, but let's just, what exactly are you getting with the Digital Growth Accelerator? What is the $40,000 value? Let's break it down piece by piece.
Well, you've got four key cornerstones. You've got your customer journey assessment. And that's where we go in and we look at a product line, we look at a customer journey, and we together prioritize out of awareness, consideration, purchase, adoption, and advocacy, which stage of that journey can we unpack and dive really, really deep in to see where there are blind spots that are costing you loans and deposits. And more importantly, give you an action plan, one, two, or three things that you could do over the next 30, 60, 90 days to begin to move forward and make progress.
And what's the investment on that?
Well,
Time investment? What is a financial investment on that typically?
typically it's $1,000 and it unfolds remotely. Takes about an hour to walk a bank or credit union
Any
through.
prep? No prep time, just show up for an hour conversation.
No prep time, show up. It's like going to the doctor. You go to the doctor will diagnose, walk you through some specific tests. It's exactly what we're doing here remotely, but all framed around the customer journey.
Okay. Customer journey assessment valued at $1,000, 1 hour of your time, and you get a diagnosis and a action items.
Yep.
Okay. What's next? What else we getting with the Digital Growth Accelerator?
Website secret shopping study. So once again, this is another, we'll call it bespoke, personalized piece of the accelerator where the insights are unique to a bank or credit union's website and where they have blind spots on their website. Once again, looking through the lens of typically awareness, consideration up to the point of purchase. And everyone walks away from that with a website optimization game plan. Once again, I know what you're going to ask me. Well, what's the time? It's a 90-minute delivery. There's a little bit of prep work, but not a lot. And we've spoken at lengths of to that. I mean, what's the prep
Yes.
work here for someone to do a website secret shopping study?
Oh, I would say less than an hour. I mean, we do connect for some quick 15, 30-minute conversations just to get on the same page. We have you answer a quick, 10 to 15-minute assessment to collect
Mm.
some data up front. But other than that, the brunt of the work is on us. And then you just show up for the 90-minute delivery. And yes, we've had many conversations about our website secret shopping studies, which generally run right at $5,000.
They do run at 5,000, but um, they often find 10x and in some cases 100x
Oh, yeah.
of that investment in lost opportunity when it comes to loan and deposit growth, or in this particular case, where are the gaps, where are the blind spots. And I think, yesterday, you and I delivered a website secret shopping study,
And we're doing one today
and we're
too.
doing one today as well. But the feedback yesterday was it was so it was so unique how this VP of marketing framed the feedback. And this is a $3 billion financial brand, actually up in Canada. We were looking at their mortgage product. And one of the things that she had referenced was at the very end, she goes, because we were talking about Amazon, and she said, everything that she got, she said, it felt like Amazon Prime delivered something. She opened up the box and it was everything that she needed. More importantly, though, she felt, and I texted her after, she said she felt confident, she felt optimized, and she felt energized. And she had two team members on the call with her
Yep.
because she saw she could take action from what she got. That's the key of the accelerator. Once again, it's not just about learning and seeing and thinking and feeling different. It all has to come down to one thing: taking action.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is, I'm so glad you made that point. It's yes, it's learning. Yes, it's thinking, but no, really the focus here, the whole point is to take action.
Yep.
Take action, make changes now, fast, rapidly.
Mm-hmm. Which is why the third core element or cornerstone, keystone of the accelerator, it is the Digital Growth University. And now things start to connect together. So, for example, the customer journey assessment. When we do the customer journey assessment, we're going to be able to put together a customized curriculum within the Digital Growth University of the classes that a marketing, a sales, a leadership team should all watch together, should all learn together. There's actually 12 classes in the Digital Growth University. And for someone who joins the accelerator, they have a choice. They can take all 12 classes, or they can focus on the few classes that we would recommend to them as a
Yep.
customized curriculum based upon the customer journey assessment. And this is something that whenever I've taken teams through the accelerator, not the accelerator, through the university historically in the past in private engagements, I mean, it starts at 30K. Um,
Yeah.
and so this to
It's a
me
deep
is,
engagement.
yeah, this to me is one of the greatest, I would say, value adds to the accelerator, because it will help a marketing, a sales, a leadership team see different, think different. There's strategic thinking questions. There's an action plan at the end of every single course. Once again, it comes down to feeling different so that you can take action over the next 30, 60, and 90 days.
And there's also playbooks too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what is so great about the university is yes, you're learning, but you're also getting access to an entire library of resources of playbooks. Like this is what's been done before. This is how you do it. Literally like don't copy and paste, but you've got your inspiration here. Um, to go off of. You've seen what works. And so I think that also is a very important thing is that resource library that comes with the university.
It's not just academic, it's very practical. I think it's a great
Right.
point. It's here's the strategic foundation, and here's what it looks like when you begin to apply that strategic foundation, specifically coming back around eliminating customer journey blind spots.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And let's look at the last part of the accelerator. The fourth component.
The quarterly customer journey masterclass. I'm a big believer the team that learns together is the team that will continue to grow together. And that's not just internally, it's also bringing together a cohort of different financial brands, a mix of marketing, sales, and leadership teams to facilitate quarterly customer journey masterclasses, which with each masterclass being focused on a particular stage of the customer journey. We're going to be focusing on the awareness stage, the consideration stage, the purchase and the adoption stage, and also the advocacy stage. And each one of those stages has specific research that we have found, or insights that we have found through our ongoing research, but also, once again, action that you can take. So you're going to leave one of these master classes making new connections. You're going to gain new perspective, but then you're also going to have specific actions that you can take going forward. And it's through the connections that you make that is where you're also going to gain accountability. So your network's going to expand, but then you can also begin to hold each other accountable, because the team that learns together is the team that grows together.
Yes, and when we were secret shopping our website, the 10, 12 people that I had conversations with, we were discussing the digital growth community, and for those that don't know, that's where we house our university and our resources. And I asked them, where do you get the most value? And they said it's in the relationships, it's in the conversations with other people, other leaders at different organizations, having a dialogue, learning from each other. What are you doing? What are you seeing? What's working for you? It's those conversations. And that's what I think this master class is all about. It's bringing everyone together. And it's not just James Robert standing out, teaching, talking the whole time. It's a lot of sharing of ideas
It's
and building off of that.
I'm more facilitating
Right.
at that point, and I understand what it's like to work at an organization, and particularly in the marketing side, and you feel like no one respects marketing. You feel like what you do in marketing, it's viewed as a glorified in-house Kinkos, or you're at worst, you're thought of as kids that just play with paint and crayons. You might be looked at as a cost center. Um, Being in that environment is not very healthy. But when you can connect alongside other growth minded marketing teams, sales teams, leadership teams who are all committed to learning, growing, and being even better together, that's what we're doing with this accelerator, because it's pulling together these four different cornerstones, so that you can build a strong foundation. We have mapped out everything for you, and it's like I want to take you. It's like if you and I were going out on a walk, going out on a hike, I want to take you to the best fishing spot,
I love this
the
metaphor.
the one that no one knows about. But I want to take you to the best fishing spot. It's in the woods. It's a beautiful track. I'm going to bait your hook. All you have to do is just cast the line out into the lake, start reeling something in, because I'm going to teach you how to fish. I'm not going to fish for you, but I'm going to teach you how to fish, and even bait your hook if you don't want to get your
Yeah.
hands dirty. But you're going to have
Yeah.
to be the one to cast the reel and then reel it back in.
Really, really making it so easy. But we still hear some common objections
Mm.
when we've been discussing the accelerator so much. What are these common objections? Probably not a lot of surprise, but let's kind of dig into each of those.
Well, this actually came up in my keynote last week, because I've been speaking at least 200 events at this point over the last 2+ decades. It's like everyone goes to a conference, they get excited, and then what happens next? And I see this, and this is we've designed the accelerator to eliminate common roadblocks, common obstacles that hold teams back. And one of the very first ones, and we've even heard people, and we've talked about it with them, is this sounds great, James Robert. I just don't have time. I'm so busy. Well, you have a choice. You have a choice. You create the space and time, or if nothing changes, nothing changes. And your 2025 is probably going to feel very similar to 2024, which probably felt very similar to 2022. And you just keep going back and back and back and back.
But here's the thing, though. It's not that much time.
No.
And maybe that's a misconception. It is not that much time. And we could go through each of these again, but a majority of this is just showing up. Showing up.
There's not a lot of prep time, if any prep time at all. You just show up. I mean, that's something that I've been really focused on working with my kids. 95% of life is you just show up. Just show up. You know, you show up for your customer journey assessment. You show up for your website secret shopping study so that you can get your website optimization game plan. You show up for the Digital Growth University courses, which are on demand. You show up for the quarterly customer journey masterclass. But you show up and you're guaranteed to always see something different. And when you see different, you're going to think different. When you think different, you're going to start to feel different about the next steps forward.
Yeah.
But how much time? 1,
And
2, 3 hours a week tops? More likely
not
1, 2 hours a week for that matter?
if that. I mean, if that. I think just showing up. I mean, it's not a lot of homework. It's not this, yes, we have a 12 course, full blown university. You have access to it, but it's not, I mean, you're not signing up for just this massive undertaking. Like James Roberts said, it's on demand. You pick and choose the classes you might want to, watch and learn from. But the other piece is the customer journey assessment, website seeker shopping study, the master classes. It really is just showing up.
Now I want to give a shout out to Natalie over at Salal Credit Union, because one of the things, and
Oh, yes.
she's been a guest on this podcast. She went through this program in a one-on-one environment. But one of the things that she had replied to both you and me about a week or two ago on LinkedIn was,
Mhm.
as she was going through the Digital Growth University, she was also on the treadmill. So she was hacking time. So
Yep.
she was not only just taking care of her body, but she was taking care of her mind as well. And she was learning, she was thinking, she was seeing things differently.
Yeah. So let's talk about the second objection that we hear,
Mm.
which is the budget. I just don't have the money, James Robert. It's just not in the plans. We've got too many things going on in 2025. We're focusing on a new website. I just don't have the money.
Okay. I get it. I hear it. Budgets are tight. Budgets have been tight. You're being asked to do more with less. And that's the whole reason that we started the accelerator. We've launched the accelerator because I was hearing from marketing leaders, we want to do this, we want to work with you. We just don't have the budget right now to do a $50,000 engagement or a $100,000 engagement one-on-one. Well, let me ask, would you like a little bit of one-on-one, but for everything else we do at a group level? Yes. Okay, let's do that then, because there is power in community, there is power in collaboration, there are economic value and economic benefits to this as well. And so that's one of the reasons that we were able to make the investment for the accelerator less than $10,000.
Right. We got creative on our end
Mm-hmm.
to help others, make it easier for them. But then at this point, you're either in or you're out. It doesn't get much easier than this. And I think $10,000,
Less
where
than
my
10,000 actually,
less
but
than $10,000. I mean, I don't know. And I'm really asking this. Is that a lot to ask? I mean, thinking about a marketing budget, I mean, obviously they're all going to be different, but and is that a lot to ask?
well, this is where
Where can,
things get
where can we find that money?
well, you a couple of places. Number one, I was talking about this with someone. They were like, "That's it? Less than $10,000?" They're like, "That's what I would pay to shoot a video that might get a couple of hundred views on social media." Go, exactly. Here's the thing. The multiplier for this, the return on investment, the return on time can be 5x, 10x, 100x
Right.
more than what you put into this. And so to pay it off, you apply what you learn and you need to acquire 5, 6 new accounts. So the economies on here work. And on top of that, I've put 100% guarantee that if by the end of the year you
Yeah.
don't get a dozen new ideas,
Yeah.
and a lot of those dozen ideas are going to come immediately when you do the customer journey assessment and you do your website secret shopping
Yeah.
study. You're going to get a dozen
Totally.
ideas right there within the first couple of months of when we kick off the accelerator.
Yeah, I'm just curious, thinking about budget and hearing the pushback, we just don't have the money. I mean, there's got to be places in the budget that, prioritization. Surely there's areas that we're spending on traditionally just because we've always had budget. We've always allocated budget for this or that. And
Mm,
maybe it's time to get creative. Maybe it's time to, look and see, what? There's areas here. I mean, look, I could do this with my personal financial budget.
right.
Look for things that I could cut because I knew that this other piece was more valuable. And I just wonder how much is being done, or it's just, nah, we just don't have the money, which begs the question, if the time excuse, kind of busted that one, the budget excuse, well, then at this point, if the answer is still no, then it just comes down to you just don't want to change. We just don't want to do anything different.
Well, yeah, but I want to come back to the budget because really, if you think about it, you have literally you have bags of cash that you can't see because you have blind spots in your customer journey. And so, how do you pay
Do
for
they
this?
believe that?
Do they believe that? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that people actually believe that there is this much money left on the table. I'm not sure.
well, here's the thing. Let's think
Is it
about this.
hyperbole?
Let's think, and no, and we did a podcast, and we did find that there was an institution that we're doing website secret shopping study for, that is the opportunity loss is $100 million a year on their personal loan portfolio. $100 million. They did not see that. They weren't even aware that that was an issue. And if you don't know, you just don't know. But 86% of financial brands have never mapped out customer journeys. The same is true when it comes to website secret shopping studies. So there's a high probability, particularly in the conversion stage of the buying journey, that you have at least $10,000 waiting to be recaptured. Bags of cash that are in the customer journey that you can't see because you have blind spots. But back to your point, if budget's not an issue, if time's not an issue, we're left down to one thing. We're scared to change. Maybe someone who wants to join this is not, but others on their team, others throughout their organization have a fear of change. Because that's what's going to happen when you see different and you think different. People think that they're going to act different. And that's not always the case. To bridge the gap between thought and action comes down to one thing. It's the feeling, it's the emotion. It's the desire to be different. It's the desire to do different. It's the desire to take action. But when you join the accelerator, you're not going to be doing this alone.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing this alongside other financial brands who are on this journey with you. And I have guided thousands of other financial brand marketing, sales, and leadership teams when you can put them all together through this exact journey before. And it all starts by gaining clarity. Because when you gain clarity and you start seeing things differently, you start seeing the opportunities, but you also start seeing the gaps. You start seeing the blind spots. But you're like, I can do that. It's kind of like the website secret shopping study we did yesterday. Like, I can do
Yeah.
that. Your courage to commit to move forward with confidence continues to increase week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter. And by the time that you end 2025, you're going to look back to January when you started the accelerator. You're like, my goodness, we have come a long way. I've come a long way as an individual. My team has come a long way. My organization has come a long way. We have uncovered blind spots. We've also eliminated them as well.
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, there's really no reason not to.
I think
If you want to grow, if you want to make progress, there's no reason.
I think the biggest reason not to, I've eliminated all the risk. I've put all the risk on us.
There's nothing to lose. There is nothing to lose.
Like, it is 100% risk free. If by the end of 2025, you do not get at least a dozen new ideas or insights, give your money back. So, because I know that's one of the other reasons that financial brands don't take action is because they're wanting to avoid risk. Here's the thing.
There's no risk.
No, the risk is this. The risk is not taking action. The risk is continuing forward, doing what you've always done, not being curious, not wanting to learn to see where there are gaps, to learn where there are blind spots. There's more risk in inaction now than there is in action. And that's all that's left to do is to take action. The accelerator, it gives you everything that you need to succeed. It gives you everything that you need to uncover and to eliminate the blind spots in your customer journey that are costing you loans and deposits. We're going to guide you every step of the way.
Yeah. So now is the time to take action. How many days do we have left of 2024, James Robert?
As of recording, I think we have 70 days left.
Okay.
And each day passing will become 69, 68, 67. And then before you know it, 2025 is going to be here.
Yeah.
And then what?
So 70 days.
70 days as of recording.
Take action. Make a commitment.
And the only commitment you got to make right now is give me a call, send me a text, and let's have a conversation. Because I want to make sure that you're a good fit for the Digital Growth Accelerator. I want to make sure that the Digital Growth Accelerator is a good fit for you. I've been having a lot of really good calls with listeners to the podcast.
Yeah, that's been fun.
That has been a lot of fun because people coming out, I've been listening to this thing for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Really?
Yeah.
What have you learned? That's fantastic. What have you done different based upon what you've learned?
Yeah.
And that's where they're like, it's a great question. And so it's a 15-minute conversation. Call me, text me, 832-549-5792. Or if you like Audrey Moore, my feelings are not going to be hurt. You can send her a text, 415-579-3002. And either one of us will set up a 15-minute call, have a conversation to see where you've been, where you're at, and how the accelerator can help guide you forward so that you can uncover and eliminate your biggest customer journey blind spots so that you just don't survive in 2025. If you want to survive in 2025, don't call me, don't text me, don't call Audrey, don't text Audrey. If you want to thrive in 2025, call me, text me, 832-549-5792. Text Audrey, 415-579-3002. and we'll have that 15-minute conversation. That's it.
Yep. It's perfect way to wrap up the show. James Robert, call, text, join a group of like-minded leaders who are looking to thrive in 2025.
There you go. Audrey, this has been good. Thanks for guiding this conversation, because I know whenever you and I were talking about this, it's the easiest way to let people know not just what we're doing,
Yeah.
why we're doing it, and how to overcome the common roadblocks, the common obstacles that many might have right now when it comes to time, when it comes to budget, and when it comes to just good old human behavior and dealing with and
We're
navigating
listening.
the complexity of change.
Yeah, we are listening. We're having conversations. We're listening to feedback, and at the end of the day, this is all about helping. Trying to help, trying to bring more value, and we'll keep communicating it the best we can.
Yeah. And final thought: if nothing changes, nothing changes. And we're here to guide you through that change. We're here to lead you through that change. You're going to grow. We're going to grow. We're all going to grow, and we're going to be even better together to thrive in 2025. Audrey, thanks again for guiding this conversation. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Banking on Digital Growth podcast.
Y'all be well, do good. Y'all be the light.